everyone, and welcome back to the third episode of the Knit Nat Chit Chat Show. Today is Thursday the 10th of July. I am coming to you from a very sunny Essex. Like the sun is shining, it's glorious. I think this is like our second heat wave in England. It's meant to get up to like 28 degrees today, I think. So yeah, it's lovely. Perfect weather to be outside, knitting, doing some crafting. Not too much. You know, you don't want to be working on like a sweater or a blanket, because that's just too hot. Yes, I'm hoping this will be a slightly quick episode. I think it's been about a month since I last podcast. I'm trying to like fit them in. Trying to do like little and often. It seems that if I try and aim for every other week, maybe every other month happens. So that will be what I think I try and do from now on, because it's very hard to fit in with everything else with life. So I've got to say, my hands up to like everyone else who does regular podcasts and they have children, because I don't entirely know how you. I really don't know how you manage it. But I'm here, I have managed some time to do it, and I think we will get on with it. So I think I'm going to try and do like the normal sort of format. I'll do finished objects, and then whips, and then acquisitions, and then at the end I'll put a bit of life. You will see me sipping throughout the episode on some full fat Lucozade, because I was poorly yesterday. I have made a miraculous recovery. And essentially I ate some dodgy food and it did not go well. Thankfully, nobody else in my house was poorly. I managed to keep it contained, but I am still sort of reintroducing normal food to myself today, and trying to get myself rehydrated, because I suffer from rehydration. Well, I suffer from rehydration. I can get dehydrated fairly easily because of some meds I'm on and because I'm breastfeeding. So I have to try and get all those good salts in and sugar. So yeah, I'm just going to have a sip before we crack on. But in addition to the Lucozade, I have managed to try some coffee. Decaf, I am not brave enough to attempt caffeine with my current heart rate. Well, actually, it has got better, but it was, put it this way, I knew I was dehydrated because my heart rate was quite high lying down last night. But I put some steps in to try and make it better, because I've been here a couple of times now. And to try and make it better, know what I'm doing. So my decaf coffee is in my lovely mummy mug that my brother and sister-in-law got me for Christmas. I can't remember if it was last year or this year. I think it was in like 2023 Christmas, not 2024. Not sure. A Christmas. It can only be one of those two, but I can't remember. But no, I absolutely love it, because I really like spots, as you can maybe tell from my dress. I seem to be wearing a lot of sporty clothes at the moment. I also particularly quite like this Emma Bridgewater spotty pattern. I don't know what it is that I quite like. And then it has mummy on it, so it's really lovely. We both have a matching mug that says mummy and daddy. So that's my coffee mug. And then I just have a normal decaf. Like I said, I'm not particularly fussy. I don't have enough time to like be a connoisseur of coffee. I mean, like, if the time and the space allows, absolutely, I love a nice fancy coffee, but toddler, working full time, no, there's only so much I can give, and that's one of the things I don't give. That's just a standard decaf coffee from Aldi, a sweetener and oat milk, because that's how I roll. Right, whips, because I have got 2 whips to show you. I finished the Stoat. Hold it closer to the camera for you. Yeah, finished my Stoat, must be about 2 weeks ago now. Did I finish it before I went on holiday? I can't remember when I finished it, but I finished it. and I have done the back, and I have even put it up in my little one's room, so it will have to go back. But yeah, and because it's my husband requested it, I have put it in the middle, so it can be like pride and centre of the little Hawthorn handmade ones that I'm going to do for him. And I am yet to decide what my next one will be, but I decided that my next embroidery would be one for me, because I've been realising a lot of my projects that I've got on the go have been for other people, and whilst it is all very nice that these things are for other people, I've been realising that I don't leave an awful lot of time for myself. And the time that I do give for myself, I kind of give out to other people. Well, it's time for myself, but it's usually doing something for somebody else. So, for instance, like making this, but it's for my little boy. Or my secret project, which is for somebody else. And so, yeah, realising that between starting my new job, because I started my new job a month ago, and like I said, my toddler has been going through some sleep issues. I kind of feel like I'm forever having sleep issues with him, and they just all sort of blur into one. But he has been particularly difficult. Not he has been difficult. He has been having a hard time and not going to bed until, or we're not managing to get him to sleep until 10:30, which has been incredibly tough. And I'm also like, I'm pretty sure you're not sleeping as much as you should for a 21-month-old. And just trying to work out what it is, what's up, and kind of go from there. And what I think is going on, because my new job I have to leave quite early in the morning, but sometimes I don't see him, and it's easier for my other half to get him ready for the day if he doesn't see me, which I appreciate. But then that means my son only sees me when I pick him up from nursery and then when he goes to bed. And I think this is why he's delaying bedtime, because he's like, that is all my mummy time. So we've switched it around where I try and see him a bit in the morning, but then this is causing other pressure getting to my job and doing my hours and stuff. It's been quite tough. But essentially my sort of me time is sort of non-existent. I had I'll call it a meltdown. I had a little bit of a meltdown about it a couple of weekends ago, in the sense of like, I just wanted half an hour to myself, and it didn't happen. Like, why is it so hard? Like, there were 48 hours in this weekend, and not even half an hour of that managed to be just for me. So I've tried to like really claw it back. Like, no, I'm having my half an hour a day to myself. Or on days when I really can't manage half an hour because I really do need to sleep, I've been like, I'm having 15 minutes. But just trying to be a little bit of time for myself. Like I said, it's been really, really hard. And I can't remember where this was going. But essentially, yeah, my new project, I'm trying to make sure that there's something for me. So this does mean the projects that I want to do for other people are taking a bit of a hit. But it won't be forever. But right now, that's what I need. And we'll see that when I come to my whips. I'll show you my next sort of embroidery whip that is meant to be just for me. But for now, that's my little Stoat. So, because he's so lovely, and I quite like all of the definition, and it's quite fun. Did I do that? Yeah, I did do it. I found the green in the end. It turns out it was it in the bag? I think it might have been in the bag. Either way, it was somewhere really obvious. And I think that just summarises my general state of mind. Like I said, June was really tough because, yeah, I was being made redundant. I had an offer for a job. I didn't particularly want the job because of the impact on my family life. Sorry, I said I'd put this in life stuff. I'm just going to do it here. Yeah, I didn't want it because of the impact on my family life, because they were saying it had to be 5 days a week on site, and I was like, I can't do that. And it turns out that I had a little bit of a breakdown to my new boss, and they were like, 3 days is fine, because they work from home 100% of the time because they're also ill. So that kind of helped, and he was like, I totally get that. It's like, you've got a toddler, you're trying to do all these things. He was like, it's fine. And I was like, thank you so much. And that's made a really big difference, because it means I can do stuff like this. Otherwise I just have no time. But yeah, it's just been a bit of a year. Trying to tentatively turn some corners, but life keeps trying to throw things at us. And just trying not to get bogged down in it all is quite hard, but also necessary. I'm generally quite a chirpy person. But it has been quite hard to be chirpy at some points this year. Which I know you don't have to be chirpy all the time, but just realising you're losing yourself a little bit, I think, is more so just trying to claim it back a bit. So with that in mind, of trying to do something that is purely for me, I had a bit of a cast-on strop, shall we call it, of like, nothing is for me, my life is controlled by everybody else, and I don't get to work on anything that I want, and yeah. And I think I was ill when I started working on this, because I had another round of norovirus. How can you get norovirus so many times in a year? It was the whole thing. I didn't think we were going to go on holiday. I had a little bit of a breakdown about that. But we did manage to go. That was wonderful. It's just like, it's like you get some time off from work and some time off from all the crap that's happening, and then life just goes, just have a little bit more chaos. And I was like, no, I will not. I'm going on holiday, come hell or high water. And we did manage to go. And it was really nice. But it was a journey to get there. But like the week before, I cast this on. I can't remember the name of the pattern. I know it was a free pattern from Ravelry. It's a DK weight yarn. That's all I can remember. But it's a fairly standard like crochet pattern, in the sense that you do some increases in the middle to get this spine here, and then you do some increases at the end, and that makes your triangle. And then it's just a bit of a pattern. So one layer is like solid trebles, and then the one layer is a treble chain one, treble chain one. So I made this, and it's probably going to ruin my mic a little bit, but I thought it'd be like quite a nice little neckerchief. That was it. I cast this on at the beginning of June because I really wanted to do a pride project. And I bought this cake. It was a yarn cake. It's ombré yarn cake from Madrigal yarns, nearly 2 years ago now. I bought it at Stitches in the Sand in 2023. And I just hadn't really got round. I didn't quite know what to do with it. And then I thought, do you know what? I'll just do a one skein project. I really want a shawl one day that's like this in crochet, but like really big. It's obviously kind of not quite expensive, but it's just really hard to find something that's nice and does this. But you could, if you wanted, you could buy two of these and just join them together and go in and out again. So you could do the black to the purple and the purple to the black. And yeah, I bought this because it's the Ace colourways. I identify as demi, so it's a little hard to get specific colours, but the colours of the flag are still the same. And so that was why I bought this. And then I think the owner of Madrigal Yarns is part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I don't know, can't confirm. So I think I've seen some things, but if they are not, I do apologise. But yeah, I've forgotten what his name is now. He's really lovely. But yeah, I was just really taken with this when I got it at Stitches in the Sand. And like I said, I wanted to do just the one skein project with it. And I'm going to really enjoy wearing this, I think, like autumn, winter time. But yeah, I've even sewn in my ends. Look what a good girl I've been. So yeah, that is the whatever it is shawl that I can't remember the name of. I haven't blocked it yet because you can see my ends are a little bit curly, but yeah, it's a shawl. I don't care what the gauge is, and no one's going to care how precise my little points at the end are, so I haven't bothered. But like I said, it's wearable, and that's what I count as a complete object. Can you wear it outside? Then that is a complete object. So yeah. Excuse me. I do apologise if you can hear that burping. But everything is still getting a bit okay again. So yeah, there's that, and I had a lot of fun working on that. It was quite a quick project. I think I initially wanted it to just be like a weekend project, but life. But yeah, I took it on. Did I take it on holiday? I don't think I did. I think I did leave it at home, but I completed it like a couple of weeks ago, and it was just sat waiting to have the ends sewn in. Because what I've started doing now, because it's so hard for me to be at a point where I can work on a project and have everything in the same place at once. I go around the house now, and we'll see it in one of my project bags. I'll do that whip next actually. I kind of go around and just make sure I've got everything. When I like see my scissors, I'm like, right, I need my scissors, and they're now with that project bag. And I just try and put everything together. And this is how I do like little odd jobs of DIY as well. I just put it all together in the place where it needs to be done. And then when I get a set amount of time, like I'm baby free for like 10 minutes, I can just hang up that thing. That's what I do. And I do the same with my crafting of like putting everything together. So I put this like with the needles and the scissors next to each other. And I remember like putting it on the sofa. And then I think I might have put it in a bag because I can't have like scissors and needles around my son because we're into grabbing everything and we don't understand danger, and it's a whole mood at the moment. Fellow toddler mums or those who've been through it, you'll appreciate that it's just like, how did you get that? Where did you get it from? Now I've got to try and get it off you without you injuring yourself or me in some fashion, because he did grab my scissors the other day, and that was a terrifying experience of trying to get the scissors off him without him then stabbing myself or me. It was a moment, and I was also just like, I didn't realise you could reach there. Now I do. Because it's the thing, you put things in places and then they grow a bit and you're like, that's no longer it's no longer gonna work. Yeah, and it's the same with coffee cups. He has just been obsessed with trying to drink from cups. But I think I've cured that in a rather bizarre way, which was I let him have a sip of my coffee. I was like, it's decaf coffee. There is nothing in here that's like outlandishly horrendous for you. Like maybe sweeteners aren't the best thing for you, but I'm like, I would give you oat milk. I have given him oat milk actually when I can't be bothered. We don't have cow milk for cereal, and I was a bit like, well, I have oat milk in my cereal, you can have oat milk. So I was like, yeah, there's oat milk, like a sweetener, whilst not great, it's, you know, it's not going to kill you, and it's probably in lots of other things that you eat. The only thing is that it's coffee, but I was like, it's decaf coffee. So I was like, have a sip. And we didn't like it. And that was why I did it, partly in the like, it will solve your curiosity, and then you'll just hopefully leave my mugs alone. But this did backfire. I had some baby spice from Bird and Blend the other day. I can't remember why. I was having a weird, like, I think it was when it rained the other day. I was having a weird, like, oh, I love it when it's like kind of warm like this, and like it's raining really heavily, and it's like, oh, on the way to autumn. And I was like, it has not been summer yet, Nat. Like, check that feeling back in. But I was like, I can still have a baby spice tea roll and pretend it's autumn, because autumn is my favourite season. And so that's what I did. And I let my son have a sip, because I was like, well, there's nothing in here that's inherently bad for you. You know. So I thought, okay, fine, have a snip. A snip, a sip. And he really liked it. But I was like, oh, you are my son. You love pumpkins. So yeah, that was quite fun, and was sort of, it has now semi-cured the desire to like grab my mug, because I think now he's like, oh, I'm not sure if I like it or not. But yeah, like I said, it's a fun stage. Trying to make sure everything I need for crafting in one place without leaving things exposed for my son to find is tricky. Oh, and daylight and things like that, but we're getting there. We're making progress. So yeah, with that in mind, I will show you my, we'll go back to this. So this is my Stria cardigan. So in the bag I have got my little, I can't remember how Jem describes them. Like notions pouch, that's it. So this is from Jem of the Little Grey Girl. It's just full of like my stitch markers and, oh, everything. Oh, paracetamol. Yeah, everything like stitch rippers, cable needles, end stoppers. Oh yeah, my brooches, which I now can't wear on my my blazers for work, which I'm quite sad about. Like, look at that. Is it gonna focus? If I do that, will you focus? No, never mind. But it says, though she be but little, she is fierce. And that's a quote from Shakespeare, if you know. And I am quite tiny. And I got this from my friend for being her bridesmaid. And I really love it, but I'm not allowed metal in my workplace. Which is stupid and annoying. And I'm not going to say any more on that. So what it means is I don't quite know what to do with my brooches. And then this one is Still I Rise. And I can't remember the name of the poet, black poet, but I just love the poem. It's just a lovely reminder of resistance, I think. Yeah. It's going to really annoy me that I don't know what her name is. But yes, I've got lots in here, but the reason it's in my bag is because it's full of stitch markers, because I need to undo it. Basically, so not only have I dropped a stitch, which I have managed to pin, but I've realised that I have done the broken rib the wrong way. I'm not even going to try and show this on camera, but basically from about here, I have got my rows in a pickle, and I should have known when I was crossing them off like a day or two ago and was like, oh, that should have been an even row, but that pattern should be an odd row. Ding ding ding, you didn't mark it off your thing wrong, you've done it the wrong way around. So I need to go back and frog a couple of rows. So what I'm going to do is, because these are rings and not clips, is just go back and just protect the raglan stitches so that I don't lose them and have to rework out where they are. But I'm planning to do that. So yeah, so what I've done is I've got my notions pouch in there to have all the stitch markers, obviously the project, and then I've also got, where did they go? Here. Just some slightly smaller needles to just go back and put it on the needles first before I frog it, because I don't want to keep going down too far. I want to get down to a plain knit row. It's not quite a plain knit row. And then work out where I am and then go again. Because I think I was coming up to being 2 rows away from the next increase. So I want to go back at least 4. And then I know I'm at the last increase row. Or if I go back 6, I know the next one will be an increase. And I think that will work. Yeah, I think that will work out. I haven't done too many. Because I had a bit of a gap and then I picked it up and I couldn't remember what way round it was. And I got it the wrong way round. But I think I now know what way round it should be. And what I might do is I might put a lifeline in it so that if I have got it wrong again, I might make a note of where that lifeline is, what row I did do next, and know that that will be wrong. But yes, I need a bit of brain space to do that, and I need good lighting because it's black and twisted rib, but I am having some regrets about it, but I'm having some regrets about doing such a textured pattern on black, but then I really like it, so I'm going to keep going. But yeah, I think I'll put lifelines in it going forward, because undoing black twisted rib is not fun, not really what I want to spend my life doing, but c'est la vie. And then yeah, this is in my bag from Botanical Yarns. I quite like it. I'm feeling quite colour coordinated today actually with all my bits. But I absolutely love my watermelon bag from Little Grey Girl, and I have a bigger one as well, which has got a handle on it, and I love it because you can put a pair of socks in and you can walk and knit. So that is whip number 1, and that is generally my whip that I'm trying to do like my half an hour of, because 2 rows kind of takes me about half an hour. So it's quite a good measure of like, I'll just do 2 rows, and it's also quite thinky, so it means that like I can I have to disengage my brain from everything else that's happening, and I can only focus on what stitches I'm doing. The downside to that is every now and then I go wrong, and it'll be like 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, I need to undo it, and so it takes me a bit longer, but also just being like, I'm too tired to work on this. So I haven't, this is where I was working on my secret project because it's a crochet project, and a little bit of it would only take me about half an hour, but because it's for somebody else I'm trying not to do it then. And I've also lost my hook. I don't know where my hook is. I can't find it. I'm not entirely sure where I've lost it. I think it might be in my house, but I haven't had a chance to tidy up my house, and I also was just like, just buy another hook. Like, you'll always need more hooks, and the amount of time it will take you to find the hook, you'll have lost X amount of time on the project. And I can't really afford the time on it now that I commute so much. So I just bought a new hook, and that should arrive today, fingers crossed, because I really need to crack on with it. And it's also gotten really difficult to continue on that project because it's at the point where I can't take it anywhere with me, and it very much needs me to be sat in a room uninterrupted by anybody, and work things out. So it's an extremely crucial point. I can't really afford to not have a hook. So when I get those times, I just have to go. So yeah, I just bought a new hook. And like I said, we'll see if that comes. But that's my big whip that I've been trying to tick away on. Then my other whips, the other big ones to show you, are my olive and bean sweater. So I did do what I said in the last podcast of I did go back and I frogged it to the yoke. So what I did is I looked at the pattern, and I think the pattern for the next size down, it didn't differ until the last increases. So that's what I decided to do. Excuse me. So yeah, I went down to the last increases after the colour work, so I didn't have to undo the colour work, and just did less basically. And then I split for the sleeves. I think I may have done a bit of fudging on the sleeves and given myself more room on the sleeves than the body. I can't remember now. I'm not going to sit here and count the stitches for you. That's really boring. I'll let you know when I get to the sleeves. But I think I did hold it up against me and think I actually could do with a bit more sleeve stitches anyway. So I think I did a bit of a rearrange. I worked out how many stitches I'd want. did that. If not, I thought I'll just decrease it quicker. Like, that's fine. What I need is less on the body for it to fit how I want. And if that doesn't work, I guess I'll frog it and just go down a size, but I'll be very, very grumpy at that point. But I thought it was good enough of a risk to just give it a go. So yeah, and I've managed to do a few rows on here, which is quite nice. I actually very much surprised myself at how much I'd managed to do on there. For managing to get a little bit done whilst I look after my son. Like, he's been playing happily doing something, and so I've been a bit like, okay, he doesn't need me for 10 minutes, but he does need an adult in the room. I'm gonna get some stitches in. So yeah, I've just been like, just doing what I can. So it's very good for a pick up, put down project. So I've made sure that that is available in the living room for when we come home from nursery, and then I do that. And that is helping me to feel like I'm getting a bit more me time. It's not detracting from my time as a parent, but it's just helping me to feel better. And it's all these little things are just helping me feel like I'm not losing myself to the endless grind of living. And I actually am working on the things that give me joy. So yeah, and again, didn't do the colours. I can't remember the name of the colours again, but the dark purple is from Cool Woolings, and then this purple is from Gem of the Little Grey Girl again. And it lives in my project bag made by my lovely friend Aurora for my birthday, and I love it. Because, I don't know if I showed it in the last one, but it's even like lined with this very fun fabric with like rainbow stars. And it has pockets, which is a godsend. Oh yeah. Because, oh, there's loads in here. That's neat. This is where all my needles have gone. And the button. I think this has been a, oh crap, there's loads of needles out and my son's interested in them, and I have just shoved them in the nearest project bag. He hadn't mastered zips when I obviously did this. Now he's mastered zips. But he's got to get in the project bag and open it and find this. There's a couple of steps before he gets to this yet. But it's got my my needle ends that I was using, and I think I took them off because they were just too elusive for my little one. But just little pandas with socks. And I think they're from Dina's Home of Crafts. So there we go. And then the other whips haven't had much love. I just brought them up and they're like, oh, I think I worked on them since the last podcast. Maybe not, but there's just hair everywhere in this. But yeah, working on my mittens. Yeah, I think these are now at a point where I need to split for the thumb, and so thus need some concentrating and some stitch markers, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'd like to have those ready for the autumn, which shouldn't be too difficult because also they're very portable, and I've got a couple of like appointments coming up, so I can take that and do that then. And then I brought this up because I have worked on it, not very much. I'm not going to get the whole thing out again because it's enormous, but I'm nearly there. Okay, I am going to get the whole thing out, but I am nearly there on my Rainbow in the Storm. Where is it? But yes, I'm here on the cuffs. I think I've got a couple more rounds left, and then I can cast off. And then I'm going to go back and redo the ends of the neck and the sleeve in the tubular bind off because it will look a lot neater and it will be nice and stretchy still. And then I just have some ends to sew in. But I think I'm kind of playing a bit of yarn chicken because this isn't all I've got left of the grey. I have another whole skein that I haven't touched, but I'm trying not to go into it because then I could de-stash the skein or use it in something else. But we shall see. But yeah, I reckon I can get that done and then redo the the neckline because I really don't like it. Like when it's not relaxed, that kind of puckeriness. Just don't like it, but it's very stretchy. And again, I would like to have this completed by autumn, winter. I was originally, I think my plan was to, okay, my plan was originally to have it done in 2020. That did not happen. Because I realised I got the rainbow minis for this in one of the lockdowns, and they were a birthday present from my brother. Thank you, Ali. And then I think I ordered this grey in lockdown as well. Oh, we have some pooling there. I did not notice. Yeah, and I realised it's been on the needles for basically 5 years. And I should just finish it. But I had a few problems with gauge on it. Like I couldn't get. I think I did a watch. I think I tried it on the needles it said, and I was like, I do not like the fabric I've got with that, and realised that the pattern owner, what's her name? Paige something. KnitDiaries is the name she goes by. But because she's an American knitter and she knits ribbing continental, I then learned in hindsight that that can make a really tight fabric when you do it continental style. So that's why the needle size was so big. So I went down to 4.5, and then I can't remember why. I think I thought the gauge was wrong, and so I tried it on like a 5, got so far, and I was like, no, don't like that either. So I did do a proper gauge swatch. I made like a tube, and it's quite funny. Somewhere I've got a picture of my dog in this snood because it graduated up. Because I went from like 4.5 to 5, 5.5 to 6, and marked out where I changed the needle size. I think that was a tip I got from Andrea Mowry's I'll Knit If I Want To series. They're quite good for little tips. And I was like, oh, I'll just do that. I'll just do a really big kind of swatch, and basically just threw on a random number of stitches and made like a mini cow, marked out where I changed needle size, and then did that. And it was quite useful, and was like, right, 4.5. No, 5.5 was the needle size I needed to do, and then the cuffs I've done as 5s. But yeah, look at how kind of puckery that is. And I don't like it, so I'm going to go back and lose a row and then tubular bind off it. Yeah, it was a bit hard to follow this one, and this pattern, and I had another one from her. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a T-shirt. And that didn't really work out gauge-wise for me either. So I don't know if it's a me or a her problem, or if it's because I knit in a different style. But yeah, it's kind of put me off some of her other patterns, which is a shame because I really like her design, and she's really creative. And she's also a fellow big dog lover, and absolutely loved her mastiffs. She sadly lost Big, but she's still got Valentine, and I just love her. She's like a brindle coloured English mastiff, and she's just gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's sassy, but she's so beautiful. But yeah, so this has been on the needles for like 5 years, and I'm just like, I really want it done. And I had originally, I think, my aim to getting it complete was so that I would have something to wear when I was in the late stages of pregnant and felt like a whale, and with something that was incredibly stretchy. And now I'm just like, it'll just be comfy, like oversized. And that was the intention. I wanted something like quite oversized. I think you're meant to block it so that the rib is stretched out. But we'll see. See when I get there. But I'm so close. I am so close. I should do, maybe I should put this on the sofa to just do, but there's just, excuse me, a lot of it, and I think it doesn't need that much more, doesn't tend to live there. But yeah, so sorry, I keep doing this. The minis I got from Crystal Yarn in BFL, because they were the only person I found who did rainbow minis that were a set of 7 and in BFL. So I can't remember what his name or their names are. There are a couple that run it. But yeah, I just messaged him and he put together a set for me and then sent it. My brother very kindly paid for it. And then this grey, I think it's like something like cottage houses. I can't remember, but it's from Kosy Kitchen Fibres. And Fiona was really kind to just do a custom dye lot for me to put all of them in one dye lot. And then the bag is from Botanical Yarns. I think it's the like, it was an unravel colourway that she did. And then on it I have a badge from Gamer Crafting, from Ryan of Gamer Crafting. Which is, sorry, this doesn't focus very well today, is it? Dragon Horde yarn. I love it. And then my last whip, I haven't done much on it, is my embroidery. So my lovely friend Aurora got me this kit. So it's from the design is by Lolli&Grace. But what my friend did is, because buying the kits from America are quite expensive, plus shipping and everything, they bought the PDF pattern and then they very kindly transferred it onto this fabric for me, thus removing a step I would probably spend ages doing, because it was really thoughtful. And they made me like their own little kit. So they went out and got all the right threads and fabric, the hoop, and this Monstera stitch marker, printed out all the instructions, everything, and put it all in a tin. So it's like a complete kit. And I got that for Christmas this year and I love it. So this is the Grow. And as you can see, I'm not very far through. Because doing embroidery with my little one at the moment is quite difficult because you need scissors out, there's needles, you're pushing it in, you're pulling it out. It's not really a toddler friendly activity. But what me and my husband try and do at the weekend is we alternate like who has a lion or some baby free time, extended baby free time. And I try and reserve that as one of my things that I do when I get mine. But it's kind of tricky because what I really want to do is I really want to sit out in the garden with like a cup of tea or a coffee and like a little bit of breakfast and just work on this for a couple of hours, like in the sun. But if my tiny one can see me, that is break time over. So it kind of means I'm like trapped in my bedroom, which is a bit annoying, but trying to make the most of it. And what my husband has been doing actually is taking him out a little bit, so I've got like the house to myself. So yeah, that is firmly reserved for baby free time, and I have realised I have done the satin stitch here. I've not done it the way the instructions said because I didn't realise the instructions told you how to do it until my friend pointed out that they had printed them off. Oops. So I think I'm going to do one of them properly and see how I feel, and if I'm like, oh, that does look way more polished and much nicer, I will unpick those bits and go back. If I look at it and go, oh, I can't really tell the difference, then I won't bother and I will just do it my way. But we'll go. We shall see. And so yeah, that's now living in my cactus bag that my mum got me for Christmas, I think 2 years ago. It's a very nice embroidery project bag actually, because it's nice and flat and you can basically fit everything you need in, and then pretty portable. You could probably put socks in it really well because again you can hold it and knit, but I'm using it as an embroidery one. So yeah, that is all of my whips that I can show you. I can't wait until I can show you my secret project because it's really nice. I've actually got it laid out kind of behind you. I've started to assemble it and put it all together, and it's really nice. And I have shown a few people in real life, so if you have seen it, you know what it's like. It's really nice seeing something that you've worked on for quite a long time. I think I've been working on it since January, like come together and be really nice. But no, my only acquisitions this month have been the Spectrum Fibre Gemstone Club, and this is Cairo Praise, which comes with this. So they're the colour inspirations, and then they're the minis. And so yeah, they're just, I think I've got a box or a bag somewhere. I'm putting this face because I'm like, oh, I did do that, and I know I can't remember where they are. But yeah, just putting them all together, and then I will decide what they want to be next year. And then I did purchase the column 3 of the Fibre Fox Club, but it's not arrived yet. There's quite a lead time on it at the moment. And I'm absolutely fine with that because Georgie and Ben have an awful lot on with their tiny one, and they need to take more time for them. So that I'm fine. Like, it does not matter when I get my arm. To be very clear, that's not a moan. And then, yeah, I'm just slowly collecting that. And again, kind of collecting all of that. And then I'm going to decide what I want to do. I have a good idea. I think I talked about it a little bit in the last episode, that I have an idea for both sets. But again, they're very long-term projects. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, then on the live, like I said, I have been ill now another 2 times since I spoke to you, and I've just tried to power through them all because stupid work sickness policies, basically. Like, it's not throwing shade at my current place. I'm pretty sure most other places would be similar. So that's more just throwing shade at the capitalist world that doesn't allow you to be sick, particularly if you have anything like, you know, children at nursery and immunocompromised things or a long-term health condition. Yeah, just this very ableist capitalist society we live in is infuriating sometimes when you're trying to manage everything. Also, particularly with redundancy like going on, it was just like, oh God, like I really can't afford this. But yes, no, the good thing is I have a job. I will continue to have income. In fact, I do seem to have rather landed on my feet for a rather crap situation, which I'm still very upset by because I really liked my old job, and I had just got to the point of like growing and getting used to it and kind of seeing like where my career trajectory was going to go, and finally kind of understanding like my role and things like that and how the systems worked. So it was a bit unfortunate in that sense, and I think that's what I was really upset about, was just the like having the rug pulled out from under you in kind of a bit where you're feeling like really excited about your job and you're growing, and hopefully you know what I mean. Like, I had really wanted that job for a very long time. I managed to get it, and I started the role 6 weeks before my son was born. And then I came back from mat leave, finished like my training when I came back. I just restarted everything. I was like, I don't remember anything from a year ago. Quite a lot happened. And so I was just like, I'll just restart. And so I had redone all my training. I had finished my apprenticeship that I was doing, which I had planned to do before I went on mat leave. But like I said, life was like, no. And there was something else I'd finished. But yeah, essentially I hadn't really had a whole chance to like shine in the role. And that's what was really gutting about, but I get why they chose me. That's kind of okay. Like, I'm upset. Anyone would be upset, but I think if I was sat the other side of the fence, I'd probably have made the same decision. Like, it still sucks, but at least you can be like, well, I probably would have made the same decision. As rubbish as it is, like, someone's got to go and you've got to pick someone. But yeah, I managed to get a new role in the same industry, well, slightly different industry, same company, but in the same type of work field. And actually, I think it's kind of working out. it's just very difficult on my family life and my like own sort of sanity, because I can't work from home as much as I did in my old job. My old job was very international. So basically I never wanted to go in the office because I was like, I'm on Teams call all day with people in different countries. Like, there is no benefit to me being in the office for this. To now being in a place where I have to be in the office because everyone I work with is in the same building. But like I said, this it's quite an impact on my like self-crafting time and my commute time and my energy levels, the whole shebang, which I did know going into it, but it was like, no job versus job. And whilst this isn't what I really want to do, like, it is a bit of a step up. And I can see where my career will go from there. And I could see that before I started the job, and now I can really see it. So yeah, I am coming round to it. But like I said, this year has been a lot. And it's not just me. I feel like lots of people had lots of things go on, and it's all pretty sucky, basically. But yeah, and then trying to manage all the illness on top of it. And like I said, my little one's bedtime getting later and later. It's been quite a lot. But like I said, what I have been trying to do is put some more things in for myself. So if you watching this are also going through a lot, do remember that you have to take care of yourself. And sometimes that means being inconvenient to other people. Like, I had it when I was sick yesterday, and my husband said, oh, I could go and pick up our son if you want. And I was like, actually, yes, please. And then halfway through I was a bit like, oh no, if it's too inconvenient, I can still go. And then I was like, no, if the shoe was on the other foot, you would bend over backwards for him. So I was like, let him bend over backwards for you. And it was right cool, because at the time I would have picked up my son. That's when I threw up. So the lesson from that is that you do need to put yourself first, and sometimes you do need to be an inconvenience because you can't do it all. It's just very hard to let go, and I'm one of those people. It's very hard to let other people take the load or let other people look after me. I'm terrible at it. I'll hold my hands up. My husband and best friend who's watching this, see, I did say that I know I'm my own problem. But yeah, trying to let go where I can, in all aspects of life. And like I said, try and regain a little bit of time for me. And like I said, if you're going through a hard time too, there are ways to do it sometimes. Sometimes there aren't, and I'm sorry, it really sucks. But hopefully you out there are managing to find some way of taking care of yourself and doing a bit of crafting, whatever that may be, and hopefully it's bringing you joy in some fashion. So on that note, I'm going to end this podcast here. I hope you all have a lovely day. If you're watching this on the day that I post, I hope the sun is shining and you get to enjoy the summer weather. If you were in the southern hemisphere, I don't know what it's doing in the winter wherever you are, but I hope the weather is nice wherever you want to it. You can make some time for you wherever you can, and hopefully we'll meet again in about a month's time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!